Well, today's the 28th of November 2023. It's Tuesday, and I'm down in Palma. I'm on the Paseo Maritimo. Anita's gone off shopping, and I've just come down to have a look to see how the progress is going with the roadworks here. And well, still lots of work going on. So I've just come down. I've just walked down this road here, and we would normally drive up this road coming from the west. But we can't do that anymore. You can from the east, but not from the west. So we've got trucks going up, big heavy vehicles. I guess they're part of all of the work that's going on here. Might have to get out of the way. You can actually see over there, it looks as though they're actually doing some work that looks like finishing work. It looks like they're actually putting down curbstones and slab stones, and that's looking quite good. That's the end of the works, just at the end of there. It's about 100 and 200 meters up there. But going in the other direction, that's going now to the west. There's still lots going on. I'm going to try and cross the road here. I'm by the Can Blanc. Lots of places have had to close down. The Can Blanc, though, looks as though it's managing to stay open somehow, though it's not too bad on that side of the road. If you're looking out to sea, it's okay. You've got the noise and the dust, of course, but it does still look very pretty walking past the boats. Here's to walk down this way towards the auditorium and beyond. We'll see how that goes. Wait a while, but I did manage to get across, and lots of the places are fenced off, so that's to keep you safe, I suppose. But here you can see, keep you away from the traffic. The work goes on all the way along here, and the businesses, well, lots more have actually closed. On the brighter side, there's the Can Blanc, and people already there. It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning, so people having their morning coffees. There's the stepping stones that take you over the water. Normally there's no water here. Normally this is dry, but there's actually water, and there's a lot of fish down there. I've never really noticed fish in the water so much, but there's hundreds of them swimming around, only little tiddlers. And usually you can walk across here and your feet don't get wet. The cyclists can go across, but today it's actually quite a few inches deep, or centimeters deep. And I'm guessing that's indicating we've got a low pressure here. It's not really tides. We don't really have tides in the Mediterranean. So just walking along a little bit further, and then I've got to go down to the lower level promenade, and that'll take me a little bit away from the noise of the road. And this road does get very busy. Just up there, Namasti, one of our Indian restaurants that we go to, run by some former parents at the school we used to teach at. Look at the water here. And then down to the lower level. Anita's gone into Palma to meet Yvonne, and they're going off shopping. So I thought I'd come down here rather than have another walk around Palma. I was there only a few days ago, and we've been doing the lights. We need to go back because there's so much more to do on the Christmas decorations, the Christmas lights, the Christmas markets. It was just too much to do in one go. In fact, I'm not sure we'll get it all done in 2 goes, but we'll have a go. So we will be off into Palma again and have another look around. It's very mild. Anita said it was cold, but I don't think it's cold at all. I'm guessing it's around about 20 degrees. It really feels quite nice. Just perfect for a walk, I suppose. But Friday, the newspapers like to use this word plummet. That's what's supposed to be happening to the temperatures on Friday. They're supposed to plummet, and we're supposed to see snow on the mountains. So again, we'll keep our eyes out for that. It didn't happen on the last plummet that we had, but I think they're a bit more serious about it this time, so there's a good chance that we will get snow on the mountains. And by plummet, they probably mean it's going to go down 4 or 5 degrees. Which I guess, if you're coming from the UK, it's still going to feel quite mild. And someone was asking me, I think it was Daryl, asking me what the temperatures go down to. And yeah, they can go down to 0 here. We've had frosts, we've had snow, but they're very rare occurrences. And so in the winter time, the temperature doesn't often go below 10 degrees Celsius, in the day that is. At night time it will go much colder. And if you're away from the city, you'll find that the temperature does go down to 0 quite frequently during the night, and they have frosts. But that rarely happens in the city. And the temperature's a number, and it doesn't necessarily tell you how it feels, because it might be 10 degrees, but the sun's shining and it just feels nice. And so people will sit out in cafes to have a coffee or a beer. Anyway, we're going to be here all through the Christmas period, so I'll keep you posted on what the temperatures are like over the next few weeks. Well, I've put a little gilet on today, and it's feeling a little bit warm already. We're going to a football match tomorrow night. That's Wednesday night. Mallorca are playing a match that was postponed because of international break. And it doesn't start till 9 o'clock at night, so it means it's not going to finish till probably after 11 o'clock. And just thinking about what we wear to sit watching a football match, and I think it's big coats and scarves and a hat, I think. I'm assuming it's going to be dry. There's no heavy rain forecast. There might be at the weekend, or might be some rain forecast. But at the moment it's dry. But 10, 11 o'clock at night is going to be pretty cold. And certainly in previous seasons we've been known to take a blanket to put over our laps as we sit and watch Majorca win a football match. We've just been watching, I'm still watching this Netflix series on David Beckham, and in the episode last night he just joined Real Madrid, and the 2 matches they highlighted were both against Real Mallorca. nice to see that. Across the road we've got the auditorium, which is the big theatre in Palma, where they have shows, and the work in front there must be having devastating effect on them. We'd organised to go and see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the grandchildren, and they cancelled 5 performances. Cancelled. When we went to get our money back, they did have Grease on, and there were people going in then, but it's really quite difficult. So we cancelled that, and we've now booked tickets to go and see the Nutcracker in January instead. So we're going to take the grandchildren to see their first ballet. And I'm sure they'll enjoy that, and then the music's lovely too, the Nutcracker. I'm seeing a lot in the news about the 90-day rule. Those people who are interested in the 90-day rule, pretty much are those people who've got properties, and the numbers seem to be very heavily exaggerated. Well, at least I would have thought. I mean, they talk about millions of British people affected. I can't imagine millions of British people owning properties in Spain. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't have thought it. And they're not resident here, and there's quite a lot of those that that are resident but have never been properly registered. So one of the consequences of Brexit is these people have had to start registering or run into the problems, the issues. But Brexit was all about taking back control, particularly taking back control of the borders, and that's what the European Union have done. And it doesn't apply to just the British, so it's not that they're being punishing the British people, because it applies to any third country, which Britain is. But there seems to be a move in France for some sort of a visa for people who own properties in the country, and that's sort of found its way towards the British, who are looking at that as well. And well, in France it's not fully supported by the government. I'm pretty sure Macron doesn't actually approve of it, and it's got to go before their government in January. So I'm sure the Brits with properties in Spain will be looking very carefully at the decision there, and then saying, why can't the Spanish do that? From the Spanish point of view, well, I guess if the British were here, they'd be spending money here, and it would be good for the economy in that respect. So we'll see what happens. The Daily Bulletin have invited people to send them emails, and they intend to lobby on their behalf for all those who would like to see an end to the 90-day rule. And so they've got hundreds of emails. I was reading through some of them before I came out, and people do feel as though they've been punished. They've spent a lot of money buying a house or apartment here so that they could spend the winter months in Spain. It doesn't apply just to Mallorca, it's the whole of Spain, and it means that they can't do that. They can only do 90 days, and that's further complicated by people who work in Europe, and so they travel to Europe for their business, and the days that they're in Europe count towards the days that they're in the Schengen area. They're in so it's days less that they can actually spend at their properties in Spain. So while I do understand it, I'm still not convinced that the European Union is going to back down on that, and whether Spain manages to get around it by offering some sort of a special visa to homeowners. I don't know, we'll see. Across the road there's lots of businesses there. I'm not really sure if any of them are now open anymore. But when you look along the promenade here, it's still quite beautiful. The work though that's going on the other side, still got over a year to go. So all of 2024 is going to be work down here. They haven't even started on this side of the road. It's only that far side. And I guess they're doing that so the businesses can open as soon as possible. There's been a change of government, and incredibly there are some politicians now, even though this work has started, who are calling for an underground car park to go on the Paseo Maritimo. That's here. They say it's absolutely essential that we have an underground car park on the Paseo Maritimo. And this came up a few weeks ago, and the architects and the engineers said, you can't do that. We're in the middle of a project. You can't suddenly change the project and decide to do something completely different. Particularly the suggestion of having an underground car park within a few meters of the sea, because there's obviously big consequences to that. And so it went quiet a little bit. But then it's reared its ugly head again, and these same politicians are saying it must happen. What appears to have they've said now though is that they can finish doing this work, but as soon as they finish, we want an underground car park putting in. So I don't know, maybe my reading of this is wrong, but they seem to be suggesting that all of this work is going to go ahead, and then at some point along here, and they were not very clear as to where it would be other than the Paseo Maritimo, which goes all along the front, then at some point they're going to actually dig it all up again and build a car park. I don't know, I think they're mad. But the other issue is, where's the money going to come from? And this is already being financed, and so this is all going to go ahead and will get finished, and the money's there to do that. But at no point was there ever any money to build an underground car park. So another one of those things where we'll see what happens when it happens. These politicians, I don't know, they seem to say things and they don't seem to think about it, backing up, don't look at the consequences. And it's something I've always been taught, look at the consequences of whatever you do. So there's more businesses there. The Palma is it's like a cafe that Anita and I and the family have been going to for years. It's just down from the auditorium, and before we'd go to shows, we'd have our chicken and chips there. It was a very simple place, and we'd always like that, but that's now closed down completely, and don't know what's happening to that, whether they're just going to wait or whether they've closed the business altogether. There is a place next door that's actually open, Crêpe Suzette, and that's one in the middle of this, a little oasis on the front there. But the hotels, this is the Palma Marina, and that is open. just looking at the state of the work, it does look a little bit as though progress has been made, but quite often you walk along here and all of this part, there is absolutely no one working on it at all on this part, so they're all working somewhere down the line. And that's why it's taking 3 years to complete. It's not only hotels along here, there are people who actually live overlooking this. And they've got the noise and the dust that goes on from early in the morning till in the evening. So I'm guessing they'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how late they go on. It's dark at 6 o'clock, but that doesn't have to stop them. The dust, the noise, and just the outlook. And normally they'd have this as their outlook. You can see I've more or less got the promenade to myself. There's just one or two other people out with me. I was asked in one of the comments, how do I decide where we're going to go for a walk? And it's very much done somewhat ad hoc. There are some things we do of necessity. We've got certain things in our weekly schedule that we have to do, picking up the children, the knitting club, I go to the Masons, and Anita goes to the gym. So we've got these various things that we have to do, and then we fit things around them. And then I suppose we have a look to see if there's any events on that we want to go to. And if there's an interesting event, then that will take a priority. And then we look at places that, well, we haven't been there for a while. Let's go there. And there are some places which we just go to frequently because they're convenient. For example, Anita goes to have her hair done in Palma, so while she's having her hair done, then I will usually take the opportunity to have a walk around in Palma. But we go to Palma quite often because it's close and it's flat, and we usually find easy parking, so it's a convenient place to go to. So places on the north of the island and on the east coast, they take a little bit more thought because they're a much bigger journey for us. So to go to the north of the island, if we're going by bus, it's probably going to take an hour and a half or 2 hours by the time we got the bus into Palma, and then Palma to wherever we're going to, Puyenta. Or if we're going to the east coast, just the same. Even driving there, it takes over an hour. And it's an hour there and it's an hour back. So last year and this year we've decided to make a little bit more of a holiday of it, and so spent a night or two in the hotels there. And if we go at the end of the season, as we did, it's usually quite cheap compared to the high season. And for us, the high season is just too hot to do too much walking. So that's how we sort out our local walks. And sometimes people say, can you go and have a look at this for me? So when we very first started doing that, we had that a lot because people have got boats here, or they've got apartments here, cars here, and they say, could you just go down to such and such a place and do a walk past my house or walk past my car, just make sure it's all okay. They just needed that assurance, so we have done that in the past. It's quite fun to be of service. And the other side of it is that I like to record these changes, like the road along here. Part of the reason is not only to show you what's happening, but to record it for forever, so that other people can see what was going on the Paseo Maritimo in 2023. And I've just been up to the Sondiretta Hospital. It's in the process of being demolished, and that's again a place I will keep visiting and revisiting as the work progresses, and we'll see what the outcome is when it is knocked down and then when it is rebuilt. And the other one was I've just been to the Art Madame's Hotel, again just to have a look, see what's going on. Just looking here at some of the boats here. I mean, I can remember when I first came to the island, there were some big boats. In fact, one of them is still here, that's been there. It had two identical boats. I think one was called the Azteca, and I think that one might have some other name on it now. I can't read it from here. It had like a greenhouse on the top, and that was one of the really big boats in Palma. And now it's dwarfed by things like that one on the end there. That is absolutely huge. And I really can't see a name on that one, but it's very big. I had a message that made me laugh this morning and made me smile. So I must be very wealthy. You must be very wealthy. I wish. I wish. One of the ferries that takes you to and from the mainland, Grimaldi Transmed. And then all the boats here now moored up for the winter. Guessing they're not going to be going very far. Not only have we got the work going on along the Paseo Maritimo, but the main yacht club is also under construction. And we're still getting cruise ships in. There's one in now in the distance. I'm guessing they're going to continue throughout the winter at a much lower level. There won't be so many of them. These boats here are charter boats. Take them out for the day. And you can get some smaller ones as well. Not sure what sort of license you have for the bigger ones, but the ones here say no license. You can just jump in one of those and off you go. Imagine that's quite dangerous in a big busy port like this. We were in Puerto Portals as well a week or so ago, and there's lots of work going on there in terms of construction. So when people ask me what do all these people do when the hotel's closed, there's lots and lots of work going on. And so hopefully they'll all those who need to or want to get work should be able to find something. We've apparently got more or less full employment. See people working all the way along here. Got a new key there. Buses going along the front. This one goes to Waterfront. It's ram-packed full, so somebody put their hand out to stop the bus, and the driver, who was on the phone, didn't stop. Well, I just stopped at the bus stop. I thought I'd catch a bus into Palma. That would be the easiest thing to do, and it helped me to get home. And 2 buses have gone past, completely full. So what do I do now? Well, I've kind of given up on the idea of the bus. The next one's not for another 10-15 minutes, so back on the old 2 feet and see if I can find somewhere else to go. Well, I've crossed the road now, and we can see some of the work that's being carried out, and you can see it is in some places getting near to completion, and there are actually people working on it, so progress is being made. Well, I've made my way up to the main road at the top, and hopefully there'll be more buses here. I'm actually outside Leo's, which used to be Tito's, and just a nice little platform. So I've got somewhere I can actually sit down. There was nowhere to sit on the Paseo Maritimo. And the next bus is now due in 4 minutes, so a few people waiting. I'll see. Well, I managed to get the bus into Palma, and I'm now just going up to meet Anita, so we'll catch up with you later on. Well, I managed to find Anita, and she's done a lot of shopping. She's got lots of bags.
I have lots of bargains.
I'm pretty knackered, and we're going to catch the bus home now. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye. And this is all loaded up, but we're on the bus, so time to go home.